Hello, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Emily.
And we are
Rooted
Reliance. So we just wanted to share a little bit about who we are and what we're doing and where we're at and where we're going. Kind of as just an introduction about us. So we are currently living in Northeast Ohio, just outside the city. We sold our house and downsized and took the profits and saved that, and we sold our other property that we had that we weren't able to turn into a homestead because we got denied septic on that property.
We bought 11 acres in Pennsylvania, and we thought that was going to be our homestead, but it would have cost thousands and thousands of dollars to maybe eventually make it septic capable.
Yeah. So anyway, we that kind of tanked, but we ended up selling that, and now we are.
And we made a little bit of a profit.
Yep. And now we are actively looking for property to homestead on. We did downsize to this house with the intention of moving out to a different property.
And hopefully less than 2 years.
Yeah. And so we are now doing what we can with what we have where we're at. And we want to start documenting now. That way we can share along our journey and encourage you who might be in the same situation that we're in to do what you can with what you have where you're at. And so as we go through our journey, we hope to share with you what we're doing, where we're doing it, with what we have. So we are married. We've been married, what, a couple years? I forgot.
8 years in August.
So 8 years, almost. And
2015 to 2022.
Yeah, and we have a 5-year...
No, that's almost 7 years.
Mm.
Oops.
We've been married a few years. We don't know how long. It feels like forever.
And ever.
And ever. So we have a 5-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son who live with us, and their names are Leanna and Jacob. Leanna's 5, Jacob is 3. They are a lot of fun and a lot of headache, all wrapped up in a couple of small bundles of joy.
Yeah.
So we are, Emily is homeschooling the kids.
I am a full-time occupational therapist, and I work in the community. Oops, it's moving. I work in the community, and so my schedule is somewhat flexible, and so I can homeschool Leanna. It only takes about an hour each day. Some days I do not get to it, maybe at all. Sometimes it's after dinner, but that's what we love so far about homeschooling. She just started kindergarten a little bit early, and that's been a lot of fun. Jacob, he'll probably start actual preschool when he's normal preschool age, 4 years old.
Yeah. And so we homeschool the kids because we don't find value in the current educational system. We think that it is robbing our children of an effective education. And that's not that we have anything against other people putting their kids in public school. This is just what is possible for us to do because of her flexible schedule. I work full-time at a company just down the street from us, and I only work about 40 hours a week. I work from 6 to 2:30, and after that I work here doing everything that needs to be done around here. And so we're currently making it work. Our plan is to move onto the property completely debt-free. No car payments, no mortgage or anything. So when we move, we will sell this house. If the market isn't
Tanked.
Yeah, if it is tanked, then what we'll do is we'll rent the house out until the market is good enough to sell it.
But with that being said, with trying to go debt free, our budget is very limited.
Yeah.
And right now, there's very limited things on the market for what is in our price range.
Right. So we are utilizing the space that we have to grow our own food. And by that, we're starting our garden today. We have already gotten all our beds prepped and everything like that.
Started our seeds in seed trays with grow lights. And it did snow this morning, so we were kind of bummed. We thought for sure we could start them, and then it snowed. But then the snow melted, and we were planning on moving our cold weather crops, our brassicas and our lettuce, things of that nature, outside today. We'll just put probably a tote over top of it to
clear tote.
A clear tote, yeah.
Gives it the greenhouse effect and prevents it from having essentially frostbite from getting.
Should there be excessive rain, or should there be more snow? Because the weather is looking like it might be in the low 30s later this week. But I think that it should still be fine.
Yeah. So we're starting the garden. We're hoping to get a bunch of seeds in the ground today, and then we have the chickens.
We have 22 chickens.
Yep, the 22 chickens give us a lot of eggs and provide for themselves because our neighbors all buy the eggs, and they love to buy our eggs. We can hardly keep up with the demand. And then so from selling the eggs, we're able to buy their feed, and we don't have to pay for feed, so they're pretty much free animals that provide food for us. And eventually we'll process them out and circulate our flock. Hopefully we'll be circulating our flock when we're on the new homestead.
We are looking very soon anyway, to get meat chickens.
Which is a little daunting for her. I think I've done a little bit more research on meat chickens. They're not as difficult as what we put our minds to. When we were looking to get chickens, we thought it was going to be, we had to do all this research and stuff. You kind of just do what works for you. Just keep them alive. And chickens are very easy to keep alive. You just give them food, water, and warmth when they're chicks. And then when they're feathered, they'll keep themselves warm. So all they need is food and water.
The daunting part of it is actually the processing of the animals themselves. We could take them to a butcher and pay $2 a head for them, but we are trying to learn new skills, and that means doing difficult things, and that would be processing the animals ourselves. Ryan has been hunting for 6-7 years now. So he's familiar with it. He's comfortable with it. I've never done anything like that. Although in school I did have to dissect a human cadaver.
So we won't talk about what she did with the saw there. But anyway.
It was interesting.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we are a Christian family, scripturally observant. We find value in the Torah, but we know that it's not necessary for salvation, that only through Jesus can you acquire salvation. But we do find value in it. We don't follow everything in the Torah, but we do follow some things that we have found value in. And so we are a faith-based family. Rooted reliance is kind of like God reliant. We are rooted in our reliance to God, and as our family grows, we are rooted in Him, and that's where rooted reliance comes from. We are of the mindset that things are not going to get better. especially now with all of the stuff going on in Russia and everything like that. So we are just we are making preparations now to be our own supply chain and to remove ourselves from the system
as best we can.
As best we can. There's always a need for community, and there's always a need for other people. We're not disconnecting from people. We are just doing the best we can with what we have to disconnect
from the systems.
From the systems as much as we can.
Those systems include the educational system, which we've already been successful in doing.
The 9-to-5 system, the just-in-time delivery system, the healthcare system. Emily has been doing a lot to learn a lot more about proper healthcare in the home, which really begins with our diets.
It does, yeah. And so growing a lot of our own food will enable us to have healthier immune systems, healthier bodies, and then just learning things
as we go.
Yeah, how to suture. I'm gonna learn how to do that. And there are other things that home remedies that I am learning that, you know, how did they do it back 200, 300, 2,000 years ago? You know, they didn't have a pharmacy and they still made do. And so that's our goal, is to be as community minded, but also separate from those systems that really bind you. They really hold you down and make you a slave.
Well, especially with having to have a mortgage and all these things,
having to pay for health insurance. We don't have health insurance.
It keeps you locked into a system, and so we're doing everything that we can to not have to be like that. We want to homestead for multiple reasons, but I think the primary reason is so that we will have more time with our Creator in His creation and more time with each other in His creation. And just a more wholesome lifestyle, to eat better foods, to provide our own foods, to know where our food is coming from and what we're putting in our bodies, and you know, just the benefit of working your own land, and you know, and when you live debt free, when you don't have the mortgage hanging over your head, or the car payments, or all of the utilities that go along with living in the city. When you don't have all those things hanging over your head, you also are not beholden to your job. You have more financial freedom. I think we kind of crunched the numbers and realized that if we're able to get rid of the mortgage and all of the car payments and the child care costs and all of that, we could both work part-time, or even one of us could work part-time, and we would still have approximately the same cash flow as what we do now.
The same net income after all bills are paid.
Yeah.
You know,
not net income, net spending.
Yeah, net spending.
Yeah, and so basically after all the bills are paid, we're left with a certain amount of money, right? And that certain amount of money would be the same if we were debt free and working part-time as what it is now, with both of us working full-time and with all the bills. So we find that it's enticing, the idea of it, but now we're just seeking to put it into practice.
And it's a
little daunting, trying to find the right property that will suit our needs, close enough,
maybe
to family and friends. We have a lot of family and friends here. We do church here in the house. We've been doing that for about 2 years now here, and we have an awesome congregation that we love very, very much, and the thought of leaving them is very difficult, and our friends and our family, that's very difficult. But we also recognize that the need to be more God-reliant, more self-reliant, outweighs the need for being close to our family and friends here in Northeast Ohio. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we are moving toward a more rooted Reliance. So, that's right. With that, we love you, and we thank you for joining us, and just pray that you'll be blessed in following along with our journey. Peace out.
We're not doing that. Have a good day. No.
Come on, do that.
We're not doing the videos.
Deuces. Y'all have a good day.
And be blessed.